The FBI just raided Pooh Shiesty's family home in Cordova, Tennessee, and this time it ended in a high-stakes arrest that has sent the entire rap world into a state of absolute music panic. But the real story isn't the raid. It's the chilling message Pooh Shiesty just sent to Gucci Mane from behind federal walls. A leaked music prison call has surfaced where the main slime officially brands his former mentor as certified rat following that shocking music police escort footage. Reports claim Shiesty didn't just express anger. He issued a direct, cold-blooded warning that has left the 1017 label in shambles, and music industry insiders claiming the empire is dead on arrival. Something massive is coming. A betrayal so deep it involves hidden wires and secret federal music maps. You need to stay until the very end, because the final revelation we've uncovered about who is actually music and singing and testifying will change everything you thought you knew about this war. Trust me, you are not ready for this. To truly grasp the magnitude of this chilling message, you have to understand that the relationship between Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty wasn't just a business deal. It was a blood pact that redefined the modern era of trap music. In 2020, the streets were looking for a new leader, a voice that carried the raw, unfiltered pain of the South. When Gucci Mane, the pioneer of the 1017 music empire, signed a young, hungry Lontrell Williams Jr. from the south side of Memphis, it felt like the passing of a torch. Gucci didn't just give Pooh Shiesty a chain. He gave him a platform that turned a local Memphis legend into a global superstar in less than 12 months. For a while, the 1017 label was untouchable. They were the new dynasty. Shiesty was the main slime, the crown jewel of the roster, and Gucci was the elder statesman, the mentor who had survived the 2005 beefs and the prison bids to become a mogul. But as Shiesty's fame skyrocketed, so did the target on his back. The background of this conflict is rooted in a series of high-speed music events that began in a Florida parking lot and ended in a federal courtroom. While the world was vibing to Back in Blood, the federal government was building a case that would eventually dismantle everything Gucci and Shiesty had built together. The tension began to fester the moment Shiesty was taken into custody. While he was sitting behind federal bars at USP Canaan, facing a future that looked increasingly dark, the trap god was living a life of absolute luxury. To the public, Gucci was the supportive mentor, posting free Pooh messages and celebrating Shiesty's releases. But behind the scenes, the energy was shifting. Our insider sources suggest that Shiesty's camp began to notice a terrifying pattern. Every time a new legal hurdle appeared for Pooh, Gucci Mane seemed to distance himself further, pivoting his brand toward sobriety and corporate stability. For a man fighting for his life in a 6x9 cell, that pivot felt like a calculated exit strategy. But the real background of this betrayal goes deeper than just a lack of support. It goes back to the code of the streets versus the rules of the industry. Gucci Mane has a history of scorched earth. We've seen him fall out with Waka Flocka Flame, Young Thug, and his entire 2013 roster. He has always been a survivor, a man who knows exactly when to cut ties to keep his own ship afloat. Shiesty, however, is a product of a different environment, one where loyalty isn't a suggestion. It's the only currency that matters. When Shiesty's father, Lontrell Williams Sr., known in the streets as Mob Boss, was raided by the FBI in April 2026, the silence from the 1017 headquarters was deafening. This wasn't just a legal battle, anymore. This was a psychological war. Shiesty began to realize that the man who championed him might have been the very person who provided the federal government with a context they needed to justify a RICO investigation. The main slime wasn't just losing his freedom. He was realizing that he might have been a pawn in a much larger game played by the man he once called his brother. The background of this story, Music, is a jagged timeline of secret meetings, redacted court documents, and a growing resentment, Music, that finally reached its boiling point. As the months turned into years, the homecoming the fans were promised began to look like a fantasy. The background noise of the internet, the blogs, the rumors, the leaked discovery files, all pointed to one terrifying conclusion. There is no room for two kings in the 1017 empire. One had to fall for the other to stay free. Shiesty spent his days analyzing the paperwork, Music looking for the leak, looking for the rat who knew too much about the Dallas studio Music incident. And when he finally found the name he was looking for, the message he sent wasn't just a response. It was a declaration of war. The stage was a music set. The history was written in blood and betrayal. What started as a mentorship, Music, in 2020, has evolved into the most dangerous rivalry in hip-hop history. This isn't a Twitter beef. This is a high-stakes federal chess match where the loser doesn't just lose his career. He loses his life to the system. And as we move into the specifics of the leaked Music call, remember this. In the world of 1017, the closest music person to you is often the one holding the map to your downfall. The atmosphere in the hip-hop world shifted from curiosity to a music pure, unadulterated terror the moment singing an encrypted audio file titled Music 1017 BDC Memphis was uploaded to a private Discord server before being wiped by federal monitors. But the internet is forever, and the contents of that call have now, Music, been transcribed by our deep cover sources. This wasn't a standard prison check-in. Music, this was Pooh Shiesty speaking from the darkest corner of his soul, and the target was squarely on Gucci Mane's back. The conflict, Music, reached its breaking point 3 nights ago. Shiesty's voice, raspy and distorted, Music, by the federal phone system, carried a weight that made the static feel heavy. He wasn't yelling. Music, he was whispering with the cold, calculated precision of a man who has already seen the end of the world. He, Music, said, and let this sink in, I see the ink on the paper, big cat. You didn't just give them the story. You gave them the map. You told me to keep Music at Shiesty, but you're the one playing hide and seek with the Bureau. The first major twist, what exactly is the map? For months, legal experts were baffled as to how federal agents knew the exact movements of the Music 9 defendants during the Dallas kidnapping. But our insider source, a former security consultant for 1017, has revealed a bombshell. The map refers to a proprietary GPS logging system installed in the luxury rental vehicles used by the label. This system was allegedly controlled via a master app on Gucci Mane's personal device. Shiesty is claiming that those GPS logs, Music, which tracked every second of the group's travel from Memphis to Dallas, didn't just leak. Music, they were voluntarily unsealed and handed over to the FBI as part of a secret agreement to keep Gucci Mane out of the RICO crosshairs. The emotional Music fallout from this revelation has been catastrophic. Imagine being Pooh Shiesty. You're sitting in a concrete Music cell wearing a jumpsuit, thinking you're a soldier in a war of loyalty. Music, then, you sit down with your legal team, and they show you a digital breadcrumb trail that leads directly back to your mentor's phone. Music, but the betrayal isn't just professional. It's personal. It's the realization that the man who celebrated your first day out was the same Music man who allegedly provided the map for your last day in. The scene inside the 1017 headquarters, Music, in Atlanta, is reportedly a literal war zone of lawyers and publicists. Sources say that when the news of the GPS, Music handover hit the internal group chats, the silence was deafening. No one defended Gucci. No one posted a supportive IG story. Music, instead, the main slime supporters began a ritual Music of digital execution. Fake leaked DMS from Shiesty's inner circle show a screenshot, Music, of a 1017 contract with the word rat written across every page, music, in red digital ink. But the conflict escalates even further. Pooh Shiesty's message contained a specific, chilling reference to the April 1st raid music on his family home. He told his associate on the phone, the feds didn't find the bag. They found the folder. The folder, he told me, was safe. He set the trap, and then he called the hunters. This suggests a second level of betrayal. It implies that Gucci Mane knew exactly what evidence was stored at the Cordova property and directed the FBI there to ensure that Shiesty could never make a deal of his own. If Shiesty is the ringleader, Gucci stays safe. It's the ultimate survival move. The first twist becomes a nightmare when you realize the folder Shiesty mentioned reportedly contained unreleased master recordings, and more importantly, a handwritten ledger of industry payoffs that could implicate dozens of major figures in the Atlanta scene. By pointing the feds to that house, Gucci Mane didn't just take out Shiesty. He allegedly held the entire Memphis movement hostage. The reaction on social media has been a bloodbath of opinions. Who was the heartbeat of 1017? If Gucci sold that heart to the feds, he's just a suit in a rapper's body now. One viral tweet read, "The streets are vibrating with a sense of revenge, pacing." Fans are no longer just asking for Shiesty's freedom. They are calling for the total dismantling of the 1017 brand. This conflict isn't just about a leaked message. It's about the death of the mentor-protege myth. We are witnessing the raw, ugly reality of what happens when the trap music god realizes that his protege's light is starting to outshine his own. The message from music prison was clear. Shiesty knows. He knows about the map. He knows about the folder, and he knows about the secret courthouse visits. The section ends on a note of pure suspense. Shiesty concluded his call with a line that has federal monitors on high alert. Gucci Mane, the ghost is reading the paperwork now, and the ghost doesn't need a lawyer. He needs a witness. Wait. What does he mean by he needs a witness? Is Shiesty planning to flip the script, or is there someone else in the 1017 camp who has seen it all and is ready to talk? The tension is unbearable, and just when you think you've reached the peak of the drama, a second, even more shocking twist is about to drop that involves a surveillance camera and a blue expandable folder that was never supposed to be seen by the public. Just as the industry was reeling from the GPS betrayal, the situation escalated from a label dispute to a full-blown national scandal. A burner account on a decentralized video platform leaked a 15-second clip that has effectively set the internet on afire. This wasn't just another rumor. This was visual confirmation of the ultimate betrayal. The footage, timestamped just 4 days ago, shows a man unmistakably resembling Gucci Mane entering a side service entrance of the Richard B. Russell Federal Building in Atlanta. He wasn't wearing his usual flamboyant jewelry or designer gear. He was in a plain gray tracksuit, head down, flanked by two men in dark suits carrying federal credentials. The second shocking reveal, it wasn't just the fact that he was at a federal building, it was what he was carrying. Tucked under his arm was a thick blue expandable folder. According to our legal insider, a clerk who works within the federal court system, that specific type of folder is used exclusively for proper agreements and discovery material in high-level RICO investigations. The implication hit the streets like a lightning bolt. Gucci Mane wasn't there to fight for his artist. He was there to hand over the keys to the 1017 evidence locker. The escalation didn't stop at the footage. Within hours of the video going viral, a series of confidential informant CI logs were allegedly leaked onto a dark web forum. These logs reference a source, known only as Source 1017. The logs detailed specific music conversations about the January 10th kidnapping, including the premeditated nature of the rental cars, music, and the exact caliber of the AK-style pistols used. This information was so specific that music, only someone inside the inner circle, someone who was present during the planning stages in Memphis, could have known it. The internet went into a state of absolute meltdown. Hashtag Gucci Rat didn't just music trend, it became a digital movement. But the real shock came when Big 30, Music, who was Shiesty's childhood best friend and a co-defendant in the case, broke the silence in the most dramatic way possible. Music on an unannounced Instagram live session, Big 30 was seen standing in a dimly lit room, his face masked, Music in shadows. He held up a diamond-encrusted 1017 pendant, the very symbol of the Brotherhood. Without saying a single word, he took a heavy-duty industrial grinder to the piece. As the sparks flew, Music, and the diamonds hit the floor, the message was clear. The Brotherhood is dead. Music, he captioned the saved stream with one chilling sentence. The folder he's carrying has all our names in it. Sleep with one eye, Music open. This escalation has created a panic in the perimeter. Our sources, Music in Atlanta, report that high-profile producers and artists who have worked with 1017 over the last 3 years are frantically calling their lawyers. The blue folder is rumored to contain not just evidence against Shiesty, but a detailed ledger of off-the-books payments and street tax collections that could trigger a massive clean sweep by the DOJ. The FBI isn't just looking for a kidnapper anymore. They are looking to dismantle an entire culture, and they are allegedly using the trap music god as their primary architect. But here is where the narrative takes a terrifying music turn. While the world was focused on Gucci, a new piece of information, Music, surfaced regarding Shiesty's reaction from inside prison. After seeing the blue folder footage on a smuggled smartphone, Music, Shiesty reportedly went into a catatonic state of rage. A leaked memo from a correctional officer at USP Canaan suggests that Shiesty's cell was stripped after he was heard Music screaming, "He didn't just sell me out. He sold the whole city. He's giving Music them the DNA of the South." The suspense is now at an all-time high because in Music, a new question has emerged. What is the price of that blue folder? Rumors are circulating that Gucci Mane has been in Music granted global immunity in exchange for testifying as the star witness, Music, in the upcoming trial. If this is true, it would be the biggest flip in the music history of organized crime within the music industry. But the cliffhanger that has everyone terrified is a leaked threat assessment from a private security firm. They, Music, claim that Shiesty's chilling message from prison wasn't just a warning, it was a signal. He allegedly mentioned a second folder, a black folder, Music, that is currently hidden somewhere in Memphis. This second folder reportedly contains Music, retaliatory evidence that Shiesty's father, Lantrell Williams Sr., Music collected as insurance against Gucci Mane years ago. The entire industry, Music, is now caught in a folder war. One folder is in the hands of the feds, the other is hidden in the streets. Music, if the black folder surfaces, it won't just be Gucci Mane's career that ends, it will, Music, be a total collapse of the Atlanta power structure. The clock is ticking, the feds are moving, Music, and the streets are waiting for the next leak. And you won't believe what happens when the contents of the black Music folder are finally teased. The blue folder footage didn't just go viral, it triggered a total eclipse of the 1017 brand. Within hours, the digital landscape transformed into a battlefield where the very definition of street credit was being rewritten. The public and industry Music reactions have been nothing short of explosive, creating a rift so deep in Music that it's threatening to pull the entire Atlanta power structure into the abyss. On social media, the reaction was a tidal wave of betrayal. Music hashtag 1017 iceover and hashtag the blue folder dominated the global trends. But it wasn't just Music fans, it was the street historians and bloggers who fueled the fire. A viral TikTok from a prominent hip-hop commentator garnered over 2 million views. Music in 6 hours, where he meticulously compared Gucci's current movements to the 2005 Pooh Shiesty incident. Music. Gucci survived the streets by pulling a trigger, but is trying to survive the feds by pulling a pen, the commentator claimed. Music. The comment sections are a graveyard of rat emojis, and the sentiment is clear. The fans who once worshipped Gucci Music Mane as the trap god now see him as the federal architect. Music. The industry blackout. The reaction from within the rap community has been even more devastating. This music isn't just about unfollowing on Instagram, this is a total industry blackout. Lil Baby and 21 Music Savage reportedly left a high-level industry group chat titled "The Music Shocking Move Came from Moneybagg Music Yo." The Memphis Titan didn't just delete his photos with Gucci, he released a 30-second music snippet of a new track where he raps, "I'd rather sit in the cage with the lions than walk in the garden music with a snake in a suit." The message was received loud and clear. Music Memphis has officially declared war on the new 1017. The music division is stark. On one side, you have the Pooh Shiesty loyalists, who are calling for a total boycott of any artist still associated with Gucci Music Mane. They are flooding the streets of Memphis with Source 1017 music flyers, effectively turning the city into a no-fly zone for the Atlanta mogul. On the other side, a small, quiet contingent of industry music realists argue that Gucci is simply a businessman protecting his empire from the reckless actions of a rookie. This has music sparked vicious debates on platforms like Clubhouse and X, where fake insider accounts music are leaking emergency meeting notes from major labels. One leaked memo allegedly from a top-tier distribution executive stated, "The 1017 brand is currently toxic. Any association with the blue folder will result in immediate marketing music suspension." The pressure reached a boiling point when Waka Flocka Flame went on a cryptic Twitter spree. He didn't mention names, but music. He posted a series of laughing emojis followed by a picture of an old 2013 news headline, music, about his own split from Gucci. The caption, "Time is the only thing that doesn't singing lie. Y'all called me music crazy then. What y'all calling him now?" The "I told you so" energy from former 1017 artists is adding a layer of historical validation music to the rat narrative that Gucci's PR team simply cannot contain. But the most chilling reaction came from the federal side. Music rumors are circulating that the DOJ is extremely pleased with the public's reaction, as it's creating a prisoner's dilemma within the remaining 1017 music roster. Other artists, fearful of being the last ones without a deal, are reportedly starting to lawyer up in record numbers. The industry music isn't just watching a fallout, they are watching a controlled demolition. The section ends with a statement from a supposed confidential legal source that music has sent a shiver through the community. The blue folder was just the opening statement. The real evidence hasn't even been unsealed music yet. When it is, half of Atlanta will be looking for a hiding spot. The suspense music is suffocating. The public is divided, the industry is terrified, and everyone is waiting for the next message, music, to drop from the shadows of USP Canaan. Just when the world believed Gucci Mane, music, had played the ultimate winning hand with a blue folder, a final, devastating transmission leaked from the secure housing unit at USP Music Canaan. This wasn't a phone call, it was a digital dead man's switch music, activated by an anonymous source in the Memphis underground. The transmission contained a single image, a weather-beaten black leather ledger sitting on top music of a stack of handwritten documents. The final shocking revelation, music, the black folder isn't just a myth. It is a counterintelligence archive meticulously compiled music by Pooh Shiesty's father, Landy Williams Sr., over a decade ago. It turns out Mob Boss didn't just raise a rapper, he raised a strategist. The folder allegedly contains recorded audio from 2013, the year of Gucci's most erratic public meltdown, where Gucci is heard discussing cooperation terms during a previous legal scrape that was mysteriously dismissed. The twist, Pooh Shiesty's chilling message, music, wasn't a threat of physical violence, it was an extortion play. Shiesty was letting Gucci know that if the blue folder ever hits a courtroom, music, the black folder hits the internet. Shiesty's final words on the leaked audio were a cold, calculated riddle. You think you're the architect? Music, I'm the one who owns the land you built on. The black folder has the music receipts for every brick in your house. If I go down for life, I'm taking the god of trap back to the dirt with me. But here is the cliffhanger that has the entire FBI task force in a state of a music high alert. The black folder is missing. Our insider sources claim that following the April 1st music raid, federal agents realized they had been played. They found the monitors, they found the cars, and they found the music blue folder leads provided by Gucci, but the primary insurance policy was gone. Music rumors are swirling that Shiesty's father moved the black folder to a third-party location just hours before the flashbangs went off music in Cordova. This third party is rumored to be a high-profile, multi-platinum artist who has remained music silent during this entire war. Someone who is neither Team Shiesty nor Team Gucci, but who has a vested interest, music, in seeing the 1017 empire fall. The industry is now in a state of nuclear suspense. Music, if the black folder is unsealed, it won't just destroy Gucci Mane, music will implicate some of the biggest names in the music business, revealing a web of federal protection that goes back 20 years. The story ends not with a resolution, but with a terrifying promise of total annihilation. Music, Pooh Shiesty's lawyers have just filed for an emergency stay on a sentencing, citing newly discovered evidence of witness tampering. Is the black folder about to enter the courtroom, music, or is it about to leak to the public? As the screen fades to black, one message remains on the screen, allegedly music sent from Shiesty's private cell. The timer has started. 48 hours until the trap god becomes a memory. The war isn't over. The fallout is just beginning. Every artist, every executive, and every fan is now staring at their phone, waiting for the first page of the black folder to drop. And when it does, the rap world will never be the same again. This is a high-voltage situation, music, that is changing by the second. The black folder is the ultimate wild card, and the clock is officially ticking in music for Gucci Mane and the entire 1017 label. Singing, but we need to know what you think about this final, world-shaking twist. Who do you think in music has the black folder right now? Is it a rival rapper from Memphis, or someone even more powerful, music, in the industry? Is Pooh Shiesty a genius for having this insurance policy, or is he just digging a deeper hole for himself and his father? Will Gucci Mane survive the contents of the black folder, or is this the official music end of the 1017 dynasty? Drop your theories in the comments. We are reading every single one to see, music, who can guess the identity of the third party first. If you want to be the first to see the contents of the black folder when they leak in 48 music hours, you have to smash that like button and subscribe right now. Hit the bell icon for all notifications. Music, if we get 50,000 likes on this video, we will drop the identity reveal video tomorrow morning. This is the most dangerous game in hip-hop history, and music, you have a front row seat. Don't go anywhere. The truth is coming, and it's going to be loud. Stay tuned to the channel for the next high-voltage music update. The timer is ticking.